On a housekeeping matter, let us once again look at our new members. Honorable Ajit Agalakada, not present. No? Honorable MKM Aslam, Honorable Chitral Fernando, welcome to the committee. Honorable Sunil Rajapaksa, welcome to the committee. Yeah, I already did. Honorable Champika Hettiarachi, welcome to the committee. And today we had a number of requests for observers. Honorable Dayasiri Jayasekara, Honorable Chamindrini Kiriyalla, Honorable Chatura Galapati. We had, ladies and gentlemen members, we had multiple requests by various associations to present their issues to the trade chambers. Gentlemen, ladies, you all can come and sit on this row, please. So we circulated that among the membership, and we have invited, who are these people who are here? Invited, the requests were made by Exporters Association of Sri Lanka, Mr. Nalaka Ratnayaka, Mr. Edward Fernando, Chairman and Vice Chair, Council Member of the Exporters Association. Then we have the Joint Apparel Association Forum, Mr. Saif Jaffarji, Mr. Roshan Gunawardana, Mr. MLN Priyatilaka. Then from the National Chamber of Exporters, we have Mr. Shiham Marika, Mr. Jayanta Karunaratna. Then we have the Tea Exporters Association, Mr. Husefa Akbar Ali, Mr. Ganesh Devanagam. Yes. Then we have from the Sri Lanka Association of Manufacturers and Exporters of Rubber Products, Mr. Chintaka Vegapitia. That's it, right? Okay, so they wanted to make a presentation to us, which I circulated among the membership, and we have approved that. So you get some copies. Now, before we get started, can we introduce ourselves for the record, those who just joined the committee?
Rukdevi Fernando, Commissioner General, Inland Revenue.
Priyanka Disabandara, Commissioner of Inland Revenue.
Tanuja Pereira, Tax Policy Advisor, Ministry of Finance.
Abigail Jayapuri, State Council, Attorney General's Department.
Kumudu Disanayaka, Assistant Legal Draftsman from Legal Draftsman's Department.
Tusita Gamage, Senior Executive Tax Policy and Legislation in Revenue.
Nihal Vijayawardena, Deshiya Adandipati.
S.I. Asanti, Commissioner, Department of Inland Revenue.
Jain Vikramarach, Director, Department of Fiscal Policy.
P.V. Kumar Guru, Assistant Director, Department of Fiscal Policy.
Thank you. So what I intend to do is let's have a bit of a discussion to understand what the issues are, particularly this is in terms of SWAT. But before that, let us go through the issue. Let us go to the points that we don't have any issues to discuss, that we can approve, and then we can listen to the trade chambers on the issues they have, and then we can have a discussion.
Chairman, just for clarification, the attendance of these team members are mentioned to the group, or was it distributed? Or?
Yes, it was. It was when the letter was distributed about 2 weeks ago, 1 week ago. Yeah, please. How did you report? Oh.
කරු සභාපතිතුමනි අද ඉදිරිපත් කරලා තියෙන එකතු කළාගේ මත බදු 50 කෙටුම් පත මූලික වශයෙන් කාරණා කීපයක් තියෙනවා මෙතන මේ ප්‍රතිපාදන සලස්සලා
අපි මේ මිසිස් පෙරේරා SWAT එක සම්බන්ධව ගමුද ඉස්සෙල්ලා එතකොට අනිත් ඉෂුස් වලට මේ අයගේ මේ සම්බන්ධයක් අවශ්‍ය නැහැනේ.
එතකොට SWAT එක සම්බන්ධයෙන් SWAT එක ඉවත් කිරීමට අදාළ ප්‍රතිපාදන සහ ඒකට අනුශාංගික කියන්නේ consequential amendments මේ පනත යටතේ ඉදිරිපත් කරලා තියෙනවා. ඒවා 2025 ඔක්තෝබර් මාසයේ 10 පළවෙනිදා ඉඳලා ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙන්න නියමිතයි පනත විදිහට.
Housekeeping matter, there are what do you call translations. So you can.
Regarding SWAT, the removal of SWAT to be effective from 1st of October 2025, and other amendments, the consequential amendment relating to this removal of SWAT also introduced under this particular bill.
Okay, so tell us about SWAT. Now, SWAT is, can you explain SWAT?
Yeah, I think it's better be explained by the IRD officials.
Please, Commissioner General.
බණ්ඩාර මහත්මිය සම්බන්ධයෙන් විස්තර කරනවා.
Oh.
Okay, shall I do the
You have a presentation?
Yes.
Please go ahead.
No, actually, I don't have a presentation.
Yeah.
In Sinhala or English,
Please,
is it okay?
any language.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, SWAT is going to repeal from October 1st, 2025. So, SWAT is a special system given to the exporters, and not only to the exporters. Exporters means not only to the direct exporters, but all other indirect exporters also. They obtain this facility. This is without paying VAT. They can transfer instead of the cash, they can transfer SWAT credit voucher. So through this voucher, they can do any transactions. If they are an exporter or indirect exporter, we have special criteria to be registered for that SWAT system. So from October 1st of July 2025, that system will be abolished. That means again we are going forward with the cash refund system. That means after abolishing SWAT, cash refund system will be implemented.
This S means what?
Simplified value-added tax system.
Was S something else earlier?
No, that is the one.
Was it called suspended VAT?
No, that is simplified.
So suspended VAT was there, but this is purely SWAT is
Simplified
simplified
VAT.
value-added tax.
So there was one regime called suspended VAT. That regime went away. Now we have a simplified VAT, but they're both SWAT.
Yes.
This current SWAT is for exporters and indirect exporters, and once it is removed, you will not have the voucher system but a cash refund.
Cash refund system, yes.
Right. Now that is the amendment. Now for now the exporters have made representations to, I think, the government, and also made representations to this committee. And I have asked them to make a presentation so that we could understand what the issues are, and if there are issues, we can discuss it and see if there are some mutually beneficial amendments that, since Honorable Minister is also here, that we can propose before the act is taken up, or the amendments are taken up tomorrow. So that is the objective of this meeting, ladies and gentlemen. So if you can, somebody make a presentation. Yeah, you have sent us the presentation.
Yes. Is it possible to put it up?
Yeah, it's there. Can you put it up? Udekata dan, please. And the officials can see it on the TVs on this side.
I see. Okay. Okay. They can see it. Okay. So can we get to the? Okay. Thank you. Can we just, if I try to take less than 10 minutes, just go over the evolution of the SWAT and where we are, how we started and where we are now. So if somebody can move it forward, please. Keep going.
Where is the presentation, the printed copy?
Right. So it started in 2002 when that was introduced. IRD at that time committed to pay within 30 days. And if there was a failure in refunding, there was an interest component that was the basis on which the VAT was started. Then during 2002 and 2005, the exporters had a huge cash flow problem, And at the same time, we had the famous VAT scam as well, which ended up with about a 3.9 billion this thing. So that was one of the vulnerabilities of having a refund system. After that, in 2005 to 2011 period, we had the suspended VAT scheme, where the TQB as well as the EDB monitored the scheme for exporters only. And that scheme also worked very well until 2011. After that, from 2011 onwards to 2025 up to now, we have had this simplified VAT, which expanded the scope of the SVAT to domestic businesses as well, special projects, etc., which would be eligible for paying VAT, but during the construction period or the pre-construction period, they were also suspended. So that was the key difference. It was more than just this thing. So as I mentioned, the VAT fraud happened. You can move on. So if you look at what the current status with the SVAT, all exporters still have refunds due from the legacy period, that is before the RAMIS was introduced. So there are several months and years of refunds still to be processed for every single exporter, whether it's, I'm representing the apparel sector, but my colleagues here from every single export sector will verify that we have huge amount of refunds, even under a cashless system. And deemed exporters. Yes, absolutely. So despite the cashless system, we are unable to get the refund. So really this thing is the culture of providing a refund to an exporter. Now if you have a culture in a system that is not able to refund a cashless refund, what happens when it's a cash refund? So that is the biggest concern, the root of the concern that the exporters have. So the justification that was brought in initially when it was proposed that SVAT would be removed under the IMF diagnostics there was a loss of revenue to the government. Subsequently, we have been discussing this for the last 2 years, and I think most officials are now comfortable that there has not been a revenue leakage from exporters, or they have not been able to show us such a revenue leakage. So the justification for why the SVAT is being taken out is also a question mark for us. Please move on. So the second point was we have two systems. We need to have one system, but we have a good, the SVAT is a good working system. Why change it if there is no revenue loss?
Is that the correct slide?
Yeah, this is correct slide, yeah. And please move on. And the third justification given especially by the IMF was Sri Lanka is the only country that has this system. Therefore, it needs to go. So let's move on. Our research shows that under IMF program, Bangladesh, Kenya is also under IMF program, but they have something similar to SVAT. So it's not a lot of other, it's true that Sri Lanka is the first country that introduced such a thing, but other countries have done the same infrastructure for their exporters and following that same system. So that's an important point. So currently the proposed refund scheme, please move on. So the first principle is initially it was based on 30 days. Now we are saying refunds in 45 days. So we have added an additional 15 days to the refund process. While the world is moving to a digitalized environment where things are being done more instantaneously, much faster, but we are asking for more time. So we are not moving with the way the world is moving. Next one. So this next point is they are narrowing the eligibility. So unless you are a 50+% exporter, you are not eligible to get this 45-day refund. So if you are under the 50% threshold, you have to wait 6 months. So that principle itself is not acceptable. If you are paying your VAT, you have to get a refund within 45 days or 30 days. So there shouldn't be two criteria for a person who is paying the VAT, an exporter of that. The other, the basis on which they will rate our risk criteria is not announced to us yet, and it's not going to be a transparent formula as far as we know. They have said we really don't know how they are going to rate your risk basis. The low risk, they say they will give it fast. The higher risk, we don't know how you are going to be in a high risk. And then if you go into high risk, how do you come out of high risk? What is the criteria? So those are big concerns for the predictability of doing our business. Just please go back. Please go back to that slide. Yeah, so the pilot project that needs to be done, or pilot run, has not been commenced or done yet. That is scheduled for, I believe, July, August. And no live run has been done. And for a live run to be done, exporter has to come out of the SVAT scheme and start paying VAT and then getting a refund, which there wouldn't be any volunteers, because if the scheme were not to work, what recourse does one have? So that is our biggest concern. If the pilot were to not work, would it be stopped? Or how will that problem be tackled? Next. So the impacts, obviously, this is related to the apparel industry. Assuming everything goes perfectly, everyone is getting their refund as a low risk, the minimum cost to the industry will be another 2.6 billion finance cost. Just the finance cost, the administrative cost, the other cost of managing the system.
You're going to get the opportunity on also cost.
Yes.
That's what you're saying.
The financing cost of funding that refund.
Which is due in 45 days.
Yes.
Provided you get within 45 days.
Provided you get, if it goes to 60, it increases. It goes to 90, it increases. So,
since you are presenting this data again, may I just ask, were you there at the EDB session that was conducted for all the exporters relating to SWAT? IRD
No,
did
sir,
a comprehensive presentation.
Yeah,
Jeff
I
was
was
there.
not there, but
yeah, so
Johan
your
was there.
members were there.
Yeah.
I think these very same details were shared, Chairman, on that day also, and the IRD officials very clearly clarified that some of these this information that is there may not be factually correct, but we'll get into the discussion. You have some more slides to go, so
Yes.
I just wanted to alert you on that since you were not there.
Another 2-3 minutes.
Yes.
Please move on. So the backward linkage. Now what will happen is most of these backward linkage companies, whether it's a fabric mill, whether it's a accessories and trims manufacturer, carton manufacturer, or even a apparel manufacturer, is considered a deemed exporter if they are not directly exporting. They all fall out of this as an exporter status. So they would be now required to pay all the VAT on all imports as well, as well as their domestic purchases. That will increase their cash flow requirement. They will have to borrow more, plus the financing cost, and relative to a person who is importing that same item, they are maybe at a disadvantage. So that is something to definitely at a disadvantage. Yeah. especially in the apparel industry, there is a trading house concept. Through trading houses, many of the exports take place. One reason is the trading house also operates for this first sale principle, so that in United States you can claim your custom duty based on the manufacturing cost and not your final cost. And in what's happened in today's context, this is so vital because your manufacturing and your raw material cost is what is used for duty rather than your final cost. So your pre-production costs, your design costs, etc. can be at the trading house level. So you basically have two FOBs that you can use legally, and there is a system for that.
Basically, FOB that you get from the buyer is not the amount. FOB you get from the buyer is not the amount that is charged at that time for the duty purpose. It is that reduced amount. So now at the time like this, if the trading house is gone, then what happens? They will be charged at the full value. So be careful. That's what we.
No, I didn't understand. If the trading house is gone in the sense?
With this, without this.
No, what you are saying is under the current this tariff, the Trump tariff matter, that is what you are talking about?
No, I'm saying that let's talk about the trading house structure and how it affects, how its effect on the SWAT, because now whoever is selling to a trading house is now only a deemed, he's not a deemed exporter, he's just a supplier. So he has to, for his imports, he would have to pay all the VAT inputs. So his cost of doing business increases drastically. So what would happen logically is that people would work with trading houses that is offshore rather than onshore.
But the cycle work, there won't be a cost increase. It's only that you have the cash coming in that makes it more difficult. Otherwise, it's income.
No, we have to finance this additional now.
So it's an input output. So it's only the cash flow to run that particular one, not that the cost goes up.
Finance cost will go up, no?
Finance.
Yeah, definitely it will go up. And the predictability of the refund system.
Yeah. That
is. These guys have a choice. These hubs and these trading houses have a choice
Sure.
to sit in Sri Lanka or in a place where they don't have to pay this and wait for even 45 days. And would they not take that choice and move away rather than?
So just make it shift out.
Yeah,
That's what you're saying.
they are very easy to move out. So especially in current situation, they have a much more bigger incentive to move out.
Okay, Mr. Jafferji, will you finish?
Almost. Right. Skip. You can skip this. So our request is to continue with a SWAT, but to maybe make it a suspended VAT scheme rather than the simplified VAT scheme, which will address the concerns of the government on revenue loss, or make it zero VAT through the chain for exporters. So these are two options that if you want to move away from simplified VAT, these are two alternate options that we can propose to the government to kindly consider. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Jafferji. Are there any other? Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I represent the National Chamber of Exporters. Just to add to what my colleague was saying, now this SWAT was introduced because there was a fraud in the VAT scheme, which is very well documented. We have done a survey among our 600 members. They have told us they have to get refunds to almost tuning up to 2.4 billion rupees, which they have not got yet. We know that the country is now focusing on exports. Targets have been increased. The exporters now feel that removing the SWAT they are looking at it as a hurdle put on them. We still are not convinced that there is a robust refund scheme as mentioned by the IRD, with all due respect to them. Our members are telling us they will have huge cash flow issues and also finance costs that is going to add to their cost of doing business. As you know, Mr. Honorable Chairman, exporters are working on very thin margins now. And any disruption here will filter down not only to the exporter himself, it will go down the value chain. Now, the SWAT scheme that is functioning now, it is functioning properly. Why are we trying to meddle with that when we are trying to encourage exporters, motivate them to bring in the US dollars. So that is why we are with one voice, all trade chambers, all sectors, service providers are here. We are requesting you, sir, to please look into this matter and don't announce that SVAT will be removed anytime soon, even though there is various presentations given by the IRD with all due respects. Mr. Honorable Archana, you were mentioning about the meeting at the EDB. If you remember, the customs told us they still don't have a proper automated system to reconcile export related documents with the IRD. They wanted 6 more months. And we know, sir, if they say 6 months, it may not happen in 6 months. At that time, if you take off the SVAT, all this added cost will be on the shoulders of the exporter. We want to meet the 18.4 billion target. We know the importance of the US dollars to this country. Exporters see this as a roadblock or a hurdle put on them. This is the time we need to motivate and encourage them. Therefore, we humbly request you to reconsider this and support the exporters. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Anyone else?
I have a small presentation.
It works.
Just 3 slides. Can I just, I've got only 3 copies. 4 copies. Can I just pass this around? It's just 3 slides. That's it. Nothing much. I just want to, just bring this to context with the history. So I represent the Tea Exporters Association of Sri Lanka. We represent about 85% of all tea exported from Sri Lanka. So I just want to bring a bit of historic context to it and then go on. So if you look at the first page, okay, this shows tea export growth up to 2014. Okay, if you look at the first page, it shows tea export growth up to 2014. This is earnings. Okay, if anyone draws a line there, you can see where the line will go. It's not rocket science. We should be at about 3-4 billion currently. Okay, if you look at the blue graph, those are the smallholders, 500,000 families, each having about half an acre of land, growing tea, no government help, organically increasing the amount of tea that they're producing and the revenue for our country. No one helped them, nothing happened. Okay, that's what happened. Let's go to the next page. We want to see how government has helped us. Let's go to the next page. So in the next page, you would see number 1 issue, glyphosate. We came, we shouted at the government for glyphosate that we do not have VP crops, you cannot go without glyphosate. Okay, these 500,000 farmers families were affected a lot by this glyphosate issue. Next, we went to the agrochemical ban. Okay, spanner thrown on us again, agrochemical ban. These 500, you have to understand, these 500,000 families were making about 320 million kilos of tea. Okay, with this particular thing, it has come down to 240 million kilos. Their productivity has gone down. Okay, they are, when they should be getting 800 kilos per acre, now they are getting 200 kilos per acre. Okay, the productivity is so low. Okay, and what has happened is, with this, I think Dr. Harsha, you were involved in the electronic auction. You know how tea is sold. Okay, 1 or 2, and now we are totally electronic in our auction. Okay, 1 or 2 exporters coming out of the market in the auction because, let's say, they don't have, they've gone into high category, ruins the whole price for the auction. Okay, these 500,000 families, they are on average making 20,000 rupees when they should be making 50,000 rupees per month on the half acre. That is how much they should be making, even if they're making 500 kilos per acre. Okay, they're making 20,000. Imagine taking 18% of that, because we are doing a scheme that, that we feel there is some leakage, which no one has proved there is leakage. Okay. We are just, as exporters, we don't want to see the crop go any further down. If you go to the next page, okay, you can see what Kenya has done in the interim to us. Okay, the price of tea is $2 a kilo cheaper in Kenya. Okay, we see all our companies, including us, including a few others here, have opened offices in Kenya because ease of doing business there. Okay, I think amongst the top 20 exporters, maybe 8, 9 have already opened offices in Kenya and are doing tea business in Kenya. This doesn't go well for our smallholder families. 500,000, that's about 10% of our population. I know, we've been appealing for, what we are doing is we're appealing to the government to help the smallholders replant, infill, huge amount of money needs to go here. We don't want this this third spanner put on us. I don't want to be coming, in 3-4 years time and having another thing in the graph saying SWAT also on the same graph, because all prediction is this 240 million kilos will come to about 200 million in the next 5 years if infilling and things are not done. For Team Sri Lanka, what we need to do, and for a tea industry, we need to invest, because this investment, whatever we invest in the smallholders, you will get it 50 to 100 times on export revenue. But without investing, we can't do anything. It is not the private sector that has, I know the government of today is not responsible, but it's not the private sector's fault that we were taken out of this this exponential curve. This exponential curve was happening because families were looking at each other, the next door neighbor, and seeing that he's getting good money for tea, he was growing. Then what happened was we had all these external things that were thrown on us, okay, and this is where the tea industry is. We, as tea exporters, we have started going to Kenya because there is not enough tea, okay, and we need something to be done, and SWAT will definitely, it will push the tea producers to go, to do other things. They will not infill, they will not invest in the crop, and we will reduce even more our market share. This is something that this, Sri Lanka has got. I know, it's thought of as a traditional business, and let's let it go. But as a traditional business, we have to foster it and nurture it.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Akbar Ali. Anyone else?
If I may just add to what my colleague has said about the tea industry. So in this industry, especially the 18% is really charged on an agricultural product that is going to be exported. 90% of the production is going to get exported. 18% VAT on tea, just to remind, was put in only a couple of years ago when the country needed to collect money. That itself, not even a couple of years, only a year ago. So 18% on sunshine and rainfall is what the government is now collecting.
Well, actually, just let me interrupt you, because we can't go into why VAT was imposed and so on.
Here, being a commodity which is 100%, 90% exported, the money is just going to go into give back. The refund system that they are talking about.
We have just focus only on the SWAT.
Yeah, this is. Sorry, sir.
Yeah, that's the only thing that we are here to discuss.
Absolutely.
Not the VAT.
No, absolutely. So the SWAT, having the VAT is no problem. Removal of SWAT on an agricultural commodity that is 90% exported is just going to show that you're collecting so much of revenue just to give it back. And also on the giving it back, the current SWAT system is a cashless, 100% risk-free system which the IRD is operating.
Yeah.
Now we are moving to move into a cash-based, risk-based system, which you can imagine how the implementation can be. The third point we really would like to make is all these printers and various industries who are supplying the export industry, now the imported material is going to be without the need to pay any VAT. Locally, we have to pay the VAT and wait for even 45 days if it happens to come back. So what is the incentive for us to buy it locally rather than importing it? Now, China is going to have enough capacity. They're going to dump it here. And most of our local industries making tins, paper, bags, corrugated cartons will ultimately shut down because it will be much easier to import. Now, the government or the IRD has not given a solution towards this, because you're putting the local industry definitely at a disadvantage. So that, what are they going to do about that? That's another question we needed to pose. The beautiful presentation, sir, Honorable Minister, you said that was made at the Exporters Forum by the IRD. was very good. However, this is really a dream. Yes, if everything as they promise, the project being implemented within this short period of 6 months, if it happens, we are all for it. But knowing our history, knowing what can happen within the way that we implement projects, I'm saying we meaning we Sri Lankans, especially within the government sector, are we ready to put this all-important sector, the export sector, which is bringing you the dollars, at risk, given this beautiful story of how we are going to implement it within such a short period of time.
Right.
So that's the only thing we needed to say.
Okay, so I think we've heard you, gentlemen, and duly acknowledged. I will pass the ball to the Finance Ministry and the Commissioner General of Inland Revenue to perhaps respond to some of these issues if you think there are issues. Otherwise, we could proceed.
Actually, we heard a lot of things from our Exporters Association. So as officers of the Department of Inland Revenue, we have already prepared a project. We have already formed a project, special project and special committee to establish this new refund system. So new refund system is mainly based on the risk rating of the taxpayer, not their transactions. So if their risk rating is very good, that means they are in lower risk or medium risk category, that means without any issue we can issue the refunds within 45 days. So as I explained that day also, the risk rating is mainly based on the taxpayer. So if they are in that category, refund will be issued within 45 days. The next one is, as they have mentioned, the previous refunds available in the department. Yes, we know. So now also we have conducted special program to finalize that backlog. So we have already taken steps to finish that backlog, and we identified what are the issues in that refunds still in the department, and we have taken actions. So we have issued some paper notices as well to give all details to the department. So this kind of paper notices are also issued by the Department of Inland Revenue to submit their details, because that backlog is because of some issues. When we are issuing refunds, we have to do audits, because according to the law, there should be an audit prior to issuing these refunds. That is why we have that backlog. So for that audit, we need some documents. We have requested a lot of documents from taxpayers. If they can provide their documents, what we have already requested, without any time duration, we can issue our refunds. We explained that also to taxpayers. I think that is main issue they have. Yes.
Some of these refunds are 25 years old. How do we produce documents?
I think let me come in to interfere also. I'm really happy to say on the comment that you made, that if we can make it work, you're all for it. I think that's the most beautiful thing for the day, because our intention is to make sure we are able to do something that is practically possible and meeting the expectations of the exporters as well. Your concerns are very valid, because in the past, the way how this country behaved was not in a manner that there is trust. When we say that we will do something, that we are going to succeed, there is always a doubt because of the way how things were done. But what we are doing with the team involved, with the state officials that are there involved, is to make sure we monitor the process very closely. Instead of taking a chance, we take it through a process, we monitor on a very regular basis, bring experts into those discussions. They themselves confirm and certify, yes, it is on the right place as of now for us to implement what we are going to do. As you all said, you all are the people who bring dollars to Sri Lanka. So we share similar sentiments. We need to succeed, and the only way is through this digitization process. The way to remove the leakages that we identified is by removing the person-to-person interaction out of the way. So that is why this digitization has brought into the system. SWAT removal was already on the program through the IMF program. What we have come and said is, we will only allow SWAT system to be abolished provided we have a successful system. So that's a precondition that we discuss with them. So our idea is not about focusing very much on the abolition, but to focus very much on implementing this successful system. The day we get the green light that the system is successful, at that point we are going to move away from that system. That's kind of a broader aspect that we can understand the way. But in order to get there, there is a very detailed action process. There are experts looking into it, officials, dedicated teams working on it, and we ourselves are involved on the process on a regular basis to monitor. Perhaps the reason why some of the information was not shared with the exporters, it's a 6-step deep on a process. One item is to engage stakeholders for communications. The IRD could not start the communication process unless the bills were passed in the parliament and the legislation is ready. So now we are going to cross that hurdle. The moment that is done, we will start consultation. We will get you all involved. We gave an audience despite the fact that it was not passed. We provided a hearing to the exporters once we met at the ministry also. So now that's going to be intensified, the engagement, the consultation, presentations by them, explanations. Answer to your specific question, the reason they are asking information now when these are 25 years, how to provide it. During the EDB discussion also it was mentioned, IRD is not asking for this information today. They were asking this information all along and it was not being submitted. That's the kind of indication we got. We are not going to see whether who's right or wrong. We want a solution to the issue. So let's work towards a solution. Two things. One is the previous refunds that is outstanding from the Treasury, from the IRD to you. We want to honor that word and to give it to you all. There may be ones with invoices. So my humble request is, wherever documents are available to the ones that IRD is asking, please do engage, submit those documents. For the segments that information are not available, let's identify a mechanism with the input of other members as well. There are a lot of ideas around. So let's go through on that journey to ensure the backlog is covered. But to the abolition of SWAT is based only on the successful implementation of the digital system. And based on the current progress, the visibility that we have, it's on a very good progress. I can tell you that one.
Okay.
But it is subject to, Chairman, on the actual outcome of the sample testing. Sample testing is not on live data. It will be first done on a different set of data and then it will be moved on to the live data for testing and all. So there are multiple scenarios that have been looked into to mitigate the risk, etc. And the risk criteria of identifying who will be a high risk, who will be a low risk was also discussed and shared the other day. We will share those details with you all, so there's no secrets with the IRD that they will be holding on to as to who's high risk, who's low risk, whether the officials will use discretion to mark somebody. It's not the case. System will decide by applying those criteria whether a particular exporter is a high risk or low risk. So you have all the opportunity to get the behavior that the system is asking for to become a low risk taxpayer and thereby being eligible. And also this 45 days is the maximum days. Last time I remembered the official were explaining, it can be even a 2 weeks period, it can be even less. 45 days is maximum. So I'm sure lots of areas that we need to iron out among ourselves in terms of communication, sharing information that we have. So that will start very soon. Commissioner General, would you mind giving us a brief for
just 1 minute? Yeah. Before we take the discussion out, there is one thing that I don't agree with you, Honorable Minister, is that it's really not fair to say that everybody in the past did it wrong and only this time it's going to be done right. I don't think that's fair, because it's the same officials who are there, right? It's just the people who are sitting in the chamber were different, but the same people. So I would not agree with you on that. Having said that, there are the couple of issues. I think what you didn't address, and I want to raise before she replies, is the 50% export threshold. So if it is an electronic mechanism that we are going to have, then why should we need to stick to this 50% ceiling or the floor? That is one question that I had. And what they're saying is, if not, it will take up to 6 months, right? Now, 6 months is a long period and financing costs will be very high. Two things that you mentioned, Honorable Sir, that I want to pick up on. One, you said, if the system is not working, you will not implement this. Can we have that amendment in the legislation? I mean, if it is not working, then you won't do it. But as of the amendment is, whatever happens, we go to the new system on 1 October.
Yes.
Right? So that is one. And the second thing is, 45 days you said was maximum.
Yes.
Right? What happens if it is not 45 days? Can the exporters be compensated their finance cost? Meaning, if you go beyond 45 days and their finance cost is then somehow negated by a fine that is paid by the IRS to the entity that the IRS owes money to. I'm just asking these questions because if they are saying, well, you know, they're happy if the system is working. I mean, I can't argue with these people. I mean, it is them who came to us to, you know, point out their issues. So can we have some clarity on those 3 points, Honorable Minister?
So the first one relating to 50% below which it will go for more than 6 months. So let's take an example. Somebody supplies 60% locally and export 40%. So obviously there are payable to the IRD against the local supplies and receivable against the export. So those can be set off, and it is the resulting amount that will be, if at all, that will be has to be set off in the 6 months period to come. So that is through that mechanism, the amount that is outstanding from the IRD to them will be a lower amount.
No, but in the way that was explained, like if you don't export, maybe I got it wrong.
Yeah.
From the percentage, if you don't export 50%, you are not eligible for the 45 days. So if you're a small exporter, and or else you're a big
scale,
exporter,
percentage.
Percentage is small, then you're not eligible. So whether the risk assessment does not matter, right? You're not eligible. So can that be addressed through the new system? Whether that 50% eligibility criteria can be taken away, and for all exports you can, based on the risk assessment, be allowed for 45 days refund? Is that possible?
Actually, 50% is the eligible exporters. That means from their total supply value, if they exported more than 50%, that person will be eligible as a eligible exporter. So that person is entitled to get their refund within 45 days.
So what? Just one moment, yes. Madam. Mr. Jafferji, you made a point in the presentation. I mean, is this explanation okay with you, or what is the point that you are making then?
Certain companies, they are all exporters, but they are exporting through a trading house, say, and they are directly exporting, but the amount they export through the trading house is more than, is higher than, is 50%. And what they are exporting directly is less, say 45%. So they would have a problem.
This is a different issue, Chairman.
No, it's the same. It's the same.
So one
comes to the
is
same
less than
issue.
50%, and the other one is to export to supply to trading houses.
So can some amendment be made? Is it necessary or not necessary?
No, actually eligible exporters means direct exporters. If they are in indirect exporting category, that means they are eligible for refunds after 6 months period. If they are in the eligible category, within 45 days they are entitled for the refunds.
Sir, this has not been thought through properly. That is what
Wait. Now what she has explained is, let me get it right, that if it is less than 50%, you are in the 6 months category.
Yes. That
right.
means that person should be direct exporter.
So if you are exporting outside of the, what house did you say?
Trading house.
Trading house, then you are not eligible.
Yes.
Not eligible.
No. If that trading house exports more than 50%, that means that trading house also entitled for the refund within 45 days.
That is correct.
Yes, so they have given me around 12 trading houses. All are in the eligible exporter category because they are exporting more than 80% except one company. That means if they are in the indirect category, that means a person who supplies to the trading house, that is indirect exporter. That indirect exporter should do that, their supply should be given to the trading house with VAT. That means they have to collect VAT should be collected from the exporter. That is something different thing.
What is the amount of VAT that, the cash that we are trying to collect from this process? What's the
Excuse me?
target that we are having?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, excuse me?
No, what is
What
the
is the
honorable
target
member's
that we are
question
trying
is,
to earn
by
through this
making this amendment to the VAT Act, what is the additional revenue that you are expecting?
Actually, this is not the additional revenue because this is on just a system change.
No,
So
even
because
though
of
the
that, there
system
will
change,
not be
you are
a
trying to
additional
be more
revenue.
efficient, no?
But additional cash flow will be around 260, 570, around that.
260?
5 billion.
265 billion?
Billion.
265 billion?
Billion?
Cannot be.
Yes.
That is the refundable amount that is
Yeah,
estimated.
no.
not-
Mrs.
So
Pereira,
what
you
is
are
the
the tax.
incremental revenue the government will get by the imposition of this new tax methodology? What's the figure?
That means
I'll chip in until.
I mean, you're trying to make efficient, no? So
Yes.
you're going to have the opportunity loss being collected, no? What is that opportunity loss gain that you're trying to do through this process?
Honorable Member, I
Yes,
suppose
Mr.
this process is going to address the efficiency issue, take away the person-to-person connection and discretion and lot of challenges that we had in the system. So today's, the scope of this discussion, we need to be mindful, we have another session also, is to give the hearing and to give a reassurance, the position of the government, if they didn't have an opportunity to discuss so far.
No, actually,
this
sorry,
forum
go
has to be used for the matter that we have agreed and gathered today.
No, I
But
mean-
the assurance, Chairman, from our side, from the government is, this is a strengthening of the existing process, introducing digitization to the existing process, and therefore the efficiency is expected to move, and to give confidence to a system where the confidence is shattered because government was not able to deliver. So I think a lot of competing interests that we are trying to move ahead. Government policy is to move on with this one, Chairman.
Mr.
That is the basis that we are discussing today. Thank you.
Honorable Minister, this is not a discussion between government and opposition. Please understand, this is the Committee on Public Finance.
Correct.
This is a check and balance. The government's discussion with the exporters you may have had it previously. You know, our concern here is public finance. So therefore, I don't want to, have a demarcation, government and opposition. It's not. We're just members of the committee trying to see, because please do understand, with the new Trump taxes of 44%, exporters are going to get hammered, and that is a fact. So my point is, given the new dynamics, is it possible, to save the export industry? Is it possible? If the government is not making a single cent additional money from this, do we really need to push this immediately? Can we let them breathe? Or else, can we at least bring one amendment, Honorable Sir, that unless they are certain that this is working, right, we will not bring this amendment to impose this on 1 October 2025. Because while it is correct and I appreciate what you are saying, and I know you are on the same side, this is Team Sri Lanka. Like the gentleman said, this is Team Sri Lanka. This is nothing about NPP, SJB, UNP, nothing. We are trying to work for this country. There is no division here. The exporters are in trouble. Sri Lanka is in trouble because of the new dynamics with Trump.
We are quite conscious, Chairman, of the new situation. If you are going to discuss on those areas, I think
No, what
that's
I'm
a
saying,
different
Honorable
forum
Sir,
that
shall
have
we
to
bring
take it
that
up.
also in? Because it is the real, this is what is happening. When they wrote to us, there was not, this issue was not there. Yeah, but then you want to pass this tomorrow, no, honorable member? So what I'm saying is, can we push it back?
Chairman, if there's a change that is required, go as in the future, we can look at it at that point in time. But as of now, the processes that are in place, the preparation that is in place, is to make sure that we are able to deliver. That is as of today, and we are conscious of the developing situation also. So government will make an appropriate decision if required in time to come. But as of now, the resources are allocated, dedicated, teams are working, processes are in place, progress is in par with the expectation also.
Okay, let me make this suggestion. One moment, sir. Let me make this suggestion. See, you said, and I've heard for the first time, that you will feed in dummy data and make sure that it is working. And only then you will actually use proper data. Somebody said earlier, what if nobody participates? Right? If nobody is willing to voluntarily say, just one moment, right? Voluntarily say, I'm going to do this because current system is a transfer. There's a transition, I assume, till October 1. You don't have to do this, right? Because the law comes only on the 1st of October. So there is no compulsion that the exporters abide by this law until 1st of October, right? There's no compulsion. You have to volunteer to do it.
No. So, can from the
Is that
team
correct?
address first before I clarify?
Is that correct? Honorable Madam, the question is, there is no compulsion that these exporters comply with this new law until 1st of October. So what one of these gentlemen said here is, what if nobody volunteers to use this, but use the transition time to continue with the existing SWAT system? How will you test it to see that it is working properly?
Yes, actually we have already prepared that simulation process for this. So from mid-June, we are going to start our simulation process with the system. That is not only within the system, but it is end-to-end process. That means from submission of the return to issuing refunds, that period, that total process we are going to simulate.
So it's very, very simple what you're
Yes.
saying, and I appreciate this
Yes.
point. And that is, look, you don't really need this law to run the simulation.
No, actually we need that simulation because that is
No,
not
you
only
can
the
run
system.
it without the law.
No, with the law.
Why do you need the law to run the simulation?
No, now also they have cash refunds, no. Because even though they are in the SWAT category, SWAT system, they are still have cash refunds. So that's cash system we can check.
So what I'm suggesting is this, madam. The president has appointed the team. I think some of you all, I saw your photograph and all, Mr. Jaffaji speaking to the president on this tariff matter, right? So new complication has come, right? If you don't need this law to be passed tomorrow, why don't we, let's go ahead with the rest of the VAT amendments. All I'm saying is, can we, Honorable Minister, can we just hold on to the SWAT so that until we find a resolution to the Trump tax matter, then we can proceed with it. You know, we don't have to do this tomorrow. We don't have to do this tomorrow.
Chairman,
No,
that's a
actually-
whole
Without, so then,
Without passing
so
the law.
then bring a amendment to this amendment to say, look, we will not do it on the 1st of October unless that there is some minimum criteria that is met.
No,
I
actually
mean, we can do this. I mean, I've been in this parliament for 15 years and I've gone through many pieces of legislation in the past. There have been numerous occasions when industry or others in a crisis situation. This is a crisis. A crisis situation has occurred. People who are facing the crisis have shown up here because tomorrow you are going to change the law. And what they are saying is, give us some time to breathe. And I think as a matter of national importance that we should do that.
Chairman, I suppose that breathing space is already built in. That's why it is coming only on 1st October. So there's plenty of time. Government will monitor the evolving situation. And depending on that, government is ready to move in as required. So what is as of now required is to give the level of certainty for the development side and the regulation to continue. And we will engage continuously. A lot of work has been done. If you are getting rather tilted towards the emerging situation that is prevailing as of now. So government is fully aware, conscious of that one, and doing a lot. That's a separate session. We can take it up. It was explained today also in the parliament in detail. However, As of now, a policy decision has been made to go ahead by the government. So this discussion is to obviously listen to them, your concerns as to where we are,
Chairman,
but
if I
we
may.
need to look at it. But
Just one
this
moment.
discussion has to be continued from our side.
Well, actually not, sir. That is not the way, because ultimately all laws are made in Parliament, right? So Parliament must approve law.
Yes.
Right? So, so why was the Public Finance Committee established is for these types of discussion to take place. So let's do it in the good faith, right? As we are all doing now. So therefore, my point is that we can go ahead and approve everything else and give some leeway for the SWAT mechanism until you all meet and agree on a way forward with the new dynamics that has emerged, right? So that is what I am saying. Or else make some amendments in this existing amendment, set of amendments, so that there is some sort of clarity, on what happens if it is less than 50%, and this whole discussion that happened in terms of direct versus indirect importers, Honorable Minister, 1. And 2, what if it doesn't happen within 45 days? Right? And I think the question raised is very valid. We are moving into an electronic age. You don't need to make 30 days, 45 days. If currently the law is 30 days, and if you are going to make it efficient, sir, why are we taking it to 45 days?
Honorable Chair, I mean, just to be, I think.
Still available.
So if it is efficient, you have to bring 45 down now to about 15.
Honorable Chair, I think Deputy Minister Harshana was very clear that this is the government policy as of now. There is space for discussion up until the implementation. There's a gap between the implementation period and the passing of the law as well. So there is space for discussion, and there's a separate committee appointed by the President as well. So I think it's very clear that.
No, I am not in agreement with you. This committee doesn't have to always accept everything that the government tells us.
You know very well that we have not actually asked you to do that either.
No, so that is what I'm saying. So we are having an honest discussion here, and the point being that this committee is looking at the matter of public finance. The answer to Honorable Ravikanta Nayaka's question was, what is the additional public finance improvement by amending this law? And the answer was nothing. You said you are not expecting any additional revenue. So if you are not expecting any additional revenue, right, why do you want to push it through now?
Especially take such a big risk on the most important industry.
Please.
Excuse me.
Now, Finance Minister mentioned that there is no human intervention, but it was contradicted by the Commissioner saying there is a human audit. Now, anybody who is practically involved in this process will see how that system works. It has a manual intervention which is more difficult than even this proposition that is coming forward.
Can you clarify on the audit?
Yes, please.
Excuse, Commissioner, can you clarify on the audit? Honorable member is thinking that within 45 days an audit has to be done before the payment is to be made.
She mentioned in a presentation that there will be a manual audit done. Now, even today, there are audits that go on with practical exporting company know the difficulty in that. So, can you just give us an answer whether it becomes paperless and faceless as well as no human intervention?
Actually, earlier system was that for the earlier system, before issuing the refunds, we had that audit system. So in the new system, actually, if they are in the low risk or medium risk rating category, without pre-verification, we will issue the refund. That is why we are saying that within 45 days, we can issue the refunds. So if they are in the high risk rating category, then only we are doing pre-verification. Otherwise, we are not doing pre-verification, but post-verifications are there. That means prior to issuing the refund, no verification. Without verification, if their rating is low or medium, refund will be made. And the next thing you have explained, you asked is the additional revenue. Actually, this is just a system change, but cash flow will be there, that means additional cash flow is there, not the additional revenue. That means without, with that credit note, credit voucher, it is without cash we transacted. So because of that, now we have cash. So it is very good to the government, I think.
Yeah, it's good to the government because it
Yes.
is your cash flow.
Yes, actually a cash
which is
flow.
correct.
Yes.
Which is 100% correct. I mean, wait just one moment, right? So if we are, Honorable Minister, what she's saying is correct, no? It is good for the treasury because cash flow is strengthened for the treasury's cash flow is strengthened. But now I was looking at the presentation made. I am assuming that this is correct. When the VAT was introduced in 2002, failure to refund in 30 days, interest was due from IRD. So it has to be fair also, no? Now you are saying it has gone from 30 days to 45 days, but there is no interest due from IRD if there are any delays. Is there?
No, actually.
You
Yes,
have to.
Yes, we have a provision.
Now in
And-
the new act.
Yes.
Amendment.
No, earlier also we had. Prevailing Act also we have that interest method, and 45 days is earlier also that was 45 days, and 50% also there. 50% is not the new thing. So earlier also when we are giving SVAT status, we considered the 50% exporter or not. So that is same as now.
Honorable Chairman.
Can I ask one question? No, let him, yeah.
Honorable Chairman, up to now, not a single cent has been paid as interest for any exporter or any person who is entitled to a refund.
But you are making a very serious statement.
I am making a serious statement.
Who are you representing? What your JAF?
Yeah.
You are saying no interest has ever been paid.
Ever been paid.
So the other industry is completely contradicting you, no, madam.
Yes, actually.
Provision is there.
Provision is there.
Actually, if they have request, because provision is there, after
No,
repealing
there
of
is no
SVAT
need to
also
request.
provision
No,
is there. Yes.
if the law says if you don't refund within 30 days, they are liable to receive interest. No, so interest must be the whatever 1 month rate or whatever, I don't know, whatever rate.
Yes.
So do you need to make a request for the interest?
Actually, they need to request for an interest, but
But
if
then
that,
the law says no. If you
that-
delay, you have to pay the interest.
No, actually, we have to consider the reason for that delay. If that reason is because of the taxpayers' thing, then we are not going to give refund
So then
interest
it is
because
just written there
yes,
for the sake of
yes,
writing it
sake
is
of-
there.
Yes. No.
Mr.
So you all are coming with this low risk, high risk ratings, no? So for the, and it will be auditless. So for the previous tax, okay, on the day that you all define low risk, high risk, without audit, give us all the money back.
For the previous one?
Yeah, for all the old one,
actually-
because it's the
yes.
same thing, no? On the day that you all pass this thing, give us for all the low risk and medium risk people, give them the money back, because why should we have a separate system?
No, actually
for
we
that?
we have a provision now. So we are going to remove these provisions from October 1st. For after that period we can do apply risk rating. But for the current provision, law, we cannot apply risk ratings for issuing refunds. So that is, I think you can understand that clearly. You know the law. So in the law we don't have that provision. According to the law, we have to do the audit. Otherwise we cannot issue refunds. So
That's the
that is
current
why
system.
we request your documents. If you have not submitted that kind of documents, please submit that documents. Then we can issue the refund. So these
Chairman,
are the
if I may,
actually we have already calculated all these backlogs of eligible exporters. Within that document you can see where are you stuck. So that is why I that time also I explained that
the
that
breakdown
you have
of
to submit
companies,
documents.
the breakdown of companies with those outstanding we'll discuss at the exporters event also. We
Yes.
identified so many hundreds are there in each of the categories. So my suggestion, please reach out to IRD and submit those information
Yes.
and parallelly work with them. Keep us posted if there are challenges to how to resolve that problem. So that will help your cash flow if I understand.
Posting now
Yes.
itself, because we have reached out.
Yeah.
All our association has reached out.
Yeah, with the information that they are asking for, not just sending a letter and say give our refund, but if there are pending information. Last time it was categorized and shown about 10 different categories. What are the missing information?
Actually,
Mr. Chairman, just
කවුද අහන්න වෙන? For the SWAT. Actually, for the SWAT, there are 6,000, around 6,000, but active is only around 3,000. Actually, we do not consider that SWAT registration category. We collected data from the returns. In the return, if they have exported, we collected that data as they are exporter. Among them, we found, based on 2023 data, there were around 1,300 eligible exporters. Among them, around 990 was in low risk category.
So the 5,000 is the indirect exporters, they're going to be out of the system now.
Yes, out of, that is, if they have more than 50% export, that direct export, that person are in the category. That means they are entitled for the refund within 45 days. Without pre-verification, we will do the refund within 45 days. It can be earlier than that 45 days, because if they can request their refund early as possible, then we can issue if they are in the low risk and medium risk rating category. 45 is the maximum.
Chairman, if I may, last point. Yes, so the relevant questions that were asked for this committee is that, is it going to add any value to the government in terms of better collection or improve? And it's quite obvious that it is not. Our puzzling, mind-boggling question is that, is this SWAT removal one of the top 20 items that this country needs to be working on to collect this?
That is not within
is
this
it not
scope.
relevant, sir?
No, it is not within the scope of this committee. This committee, I gave everyone a chance to discuss so that we understood where you were coming from, and I think we have.
Okay.
And I think there is no more discussion necessary, because we're just going around circles. Yes, my last word.
No, but,
Yeah.
but answering to the Department of Indian Revenue, we have provided most of the information or all the information, but to date we have not got a single response from the department. So I just wanted to put on record.
The refund,
Yes.
Refund.
Yes, I have.
Given all the document, not refunded. So we have absolutely no faith in this budget. If you want to create faith, Mr. Minister, please refund all this money. Then we will blindly go with you. Right now, we don't believe. Right? They mislead you. You tell this to us. We voted you and put you there, Mr. Minister. Correct.
Thank you.
No, one company 375 million, everything is given.
No, he mentioned, now what is the total for 25 years?
1.3 billion for the tea exporters, with about things going right up to 2005 are not refunded.
And
no, a
altogether-
survey from our members, I have gathered up to 2.4 billion.
Huh?
A survey from my members, some of them responded, coming up to 2.4 billion.
Apparel sector is 5.3 billion in credit vouchers, almost 1 billion in cash refunds.
There are 6 billion.
Pending.
Oh.
So let's take one example. The 300 million notes that you mentioned, that you have provided all the information. So that's a classic litmus test for us.
Yeah.
So from the commissioner's side also, if you could kindly offline, we'll take it up. Otherwise,
Yeah, we will take it offline. We'll take it off. I think
just
we are
one-
running out of.
sorry,
Yeah, Mr.
just
Jamsi,
one-
last word, and we are done.
Yes.
No, I'll have the
if
last
I-
word.
if-
You'll
if
give
I
one
could,
for the last word.
If I could request that you all sequence the current pending refunds and then go into the simulation and then introduce it. I think that would build a lot of confidence among exporters, and we would be very much part of your journey. So that is the one last request I have. Sequence it better.
See, I mean,
What is your membership, what is the total refund due from the IRT?
It's all different associations.
So I said,
so I mean, from about 10 billion, no, from what they are saying. So, Mr. Minister, yes, please go
The
ahead.
value addition that this is going to bring to the country as a nation for Sri Lanka and for the future, that we are going to hand it over, instead of having an disorganized, unorganized, prone to theft and corruption, we are going to have a system for the first time in this country to do it without or least intervention of individuals, where the system will take over. I suppose that's all the reason, that is why you mentioned we are being voted as the new government to do the right thing. Count on it, we will do it.
See, I don't want politics here, Mr. Minister.
Yes,
Please don't get
Chairman,
politics here.
When doing so, you made that remark. When doing so, our intention is to safeguard all our exporters also. We have the same interest that you have. So our intention is to make sure we have a working system in place. And we are working towards it. Progress is monitored very closely. But as we said separately, confidence is by ensuring something is delivered. We'll take up that matter offline and demonstrate the bona fide in the system that you voted.
Okay, so I thank you for raising your concerns. I thank the officials for clarifying. And this committee heard, this committee saw what the issues are. And I think given the new dynamics, global dynamics, we need to think about this in a slightly different way than what we would have looked at it about a week ago. That is my personal opinion. And as having been an MP for some time, I know it is possible to make amendments to this. I know it is possible to pull out just one of these things and pass the rest of it. It is possible. It can be done. If the will is there, it can be done. You can postpone the SWAT until you have, I think somebody, Mr. Jafferji, I think made a final statement, said, if I remember correctly, resolve the outstanding issues, run the test, make sure that it is working well, and then implement it. And we can give ourselves 2 months, 3 months to do that. And still it will be within the 1st October timeline. So my suggestion as the chairman of the Committee on Public Finance is that given the unexpected but yet the reality that we are facing today. So we will discuss it, gentlemen. That is an internal discussion. Thank you very much for your participation. You all are free to leave unless there is anything else you want to add, sir.
Okay, thank you very much for sharing your concerns with us. Please do get in touch with the officials and keep us also informed of this specific matter. Let's go through 102 and try to identify and resolve that issue, which will going to give the confidence and will apply to the other cases also that you have pending. But in the meantime, we will progress with the matter that we are, and we expect your support. And government is committed and working with the support of everyone to the evolving matter that we have in hand also, just to give assurance on that one. Thank you.
Thank you.